My own questions about before that. Let me follow up on this secretary schedule. You said he's leaving tonight. Can you elaborate more on his schedule? Any bilats in Normandy, and when is he hoping to show up in Switzerland?
What was the last part?
In Switzerland.
So with respect to the initial part of this trip, he's traveling with the president. He's going to be in Normandy and then in Paris. His schedule will largely follow the president's schedule. If we have any separate programming meetings or such to announce, we will make those public in the coming days. With respect to dates beyond that, I think a week beyond that, I don't have anything further to announce.
Right. A couple of questions on the EU elections. There are reports about increasing Russian disinformation campaign in Europe. What's your level of concern about those reports?
So we have been incredibly concerned about Russian disinformation. This was a significant subject of conversation at the NATO foreign ministers meeting last week in Prague, something the secretary raised and not only raised, but then heard significant concern about from our European partners. We have seen the Russian government use disinformation against its own people. We have seen the Russian government use disinformation to spread lies and rumors across Europe and across the world, and we continue to consult with our partners about the best way to respond to that.
Kremlin is also echoing Georgian government's propaganda. Today we heard from Deputy Foreign Minister saying that the US is planning to implement a new Maidan in October in Georgia. Do you have any response to that?
So, look, you continue to see, I think the answer I just gave about disinformation that you see from the Kremlin probably applies here pretty well. What you have seen in Georgia is, over the past few weeks, is the Georgian people's expression of their will and their opposition to this Kremlin-backed law that the Georgian government has passed. It has nothing to do with the United States. It has to do with the people of Georgia expressing their own views.
Thank you. And finally, on Ukraine, we have seen a letter came from the House Foreign Affairs Committee urging the Secretary, both the Secretary of State and Treasury, to speed up in terms of implementing the Repo Act. Where are you at this, and why is it delay?
So the Secretary has made quite clear that we have been given those authorities and we plan to use them, but it's also important that we use them in concert with our European and other allies. As I think you know, the vast majority of the frozen Russian assets are not held in the United States. They're held in European countries. So for this action to be as effective as possible, it's important that we act in concert with our allies, and we are in consultation with our European allies about the best way to do that possible. But we are committed to ensuring that Russian frozen assets remain immobilized and that they're put to use for the benefit of the Ukrainian people.
Thank you.
Yeah.